Hey folks, so I'm not saying when it is, but my birthday might be coming up in the next couple weeks, or it might already be past. We're not discussing it. Anybody that puts it in there, I'm deleting the comment. And if I know you personally, I will come after you. It's a warning to family. But this week I'm ruining my birthday present with the birthday present. So we just finished making this one on the lathe, and I figured, what the heck? It's been a while since we've done a pen. Fountain pen at that. One of my favorite types of wood. It's really hot out here. I think I'm going to head in and cool off. And I'll let my younger self show you how we did this. So, be nice. He's not as old and mature as I am. Be nice. You, right there. You. I know you're going to be mean. Don't be mean. Let's go. Hey, while I'm thinking about it. So, did you guys know that you can support me for not spending a cent by hitting the like button, subscribing, and sharing my videos? Doesn't cost you a cent. Helps the algorithm see me a whole lot more, and it's totally free for you. It just takes 3 clicks. Just wanted to throw that out there. Thanks. Bye. All right, folks. So this week, like I'm pretty sure the title should say, giving myself a little early birthday present. For anybody that knows when my actual birthday is, do not post it. I've dealt with a fair bit of identity theft lately, and I really don't feel like dealing with any more. That's why I don't actually put out when that anything is for me. That, and I just don't celebrate it. But so for this one, I've already determined that I want to do a pen for myself. I was looking through this block of Vera wood, and that's the piece that I picked out for me. I do have a bunch more of that in stock. I try to keep a little bit of Vera wood around because it's one of the weird species that I like and use a lot, that'll actually change color in the sun and over time the longer it's exposed to any type of UV light from like the sun, actual UV bulbs, stuff like that. It's kind of weird yet kind of cool. But this is a 2 different size tube pen. I've got both of them right here. The little case I just grabbed them from is just a little fishing tackle organizer box thingy that sometimes I'll break my different pen kits into. So I'm going to use that one for this one because that's a fountain pen. I don't know what these tubes are from, but these guys are all I just lost the name of it. I think I got the bushings right here though. Virtuoso. That's a Virtuoso pen. That kit's just recently, or I just found out it was discontinued. I have a handful of them left. 1 in gunmetal. I think it's just those 3 in brushed, or I think that's satin steel, satin aluminum, something like that. It's got a real brushed appearance. I really like them with the glow-in-the-dark asteroid and moonrock blanks. And if memory serves right, this pen requires a 12.5 millimeter and a 10.5 millimeter hole. So that's those bits there. And now I'm going to open my files up for the Commander fountain pen kit, which is what this one is. And it requires 10.5 millimeter and 12.5 millimeter drill bits. So I got them right. Yay me. All right, so we're gonna chuck this in here. And anytime I have to do multiple like this, I thought I grabbed my marker already, but apparently I didn't. Well, we'll use a pencil then. It's probably a smarter tool choice anyway. But whenever I have multiples of these, I always try to do the bigger one last. I shouldn't have tightened this up yet. So we're just going to put a real dark line there and another line this way so I know which way they go to line up, so when it's closed I can try to keep everything looking all professional. Just because that's going to be kind of wide, I'm giving myself a little bit more room, or more room than normal for that, for when I cut that down. Oh, come on, I was going to say, I just saw my bandsaw before I started this video. So then we just cut the excess. Once you start it and turn it 90 degrees, it just helps keep everything cutting straight. Not that it really matters for this because it's going to get sanded down anyway. But now we throw this in our chuck. I should probably make sure that I'm got all this. Sorry, I just tightened this up into here. If you can't tell, we're in the middle of a heat wave and my new job keeps me outside all the time, so I'm a wee bit tired today. But at least it's cooled down enough to where I feel safe to do this. So I usually drill wood about 1200 RPM because I can get it faster than plastics and acrylics, but I still want it slower than full speed. So we're just going to run this all the way in and all the way back out. And real quick, like you can see how much lighter the shavings are compared to the blank. Especially that side. This, when I'm done, this is how it'll look, and over time it'll go back to this color. It's a little off center. That's why my drill bit's shaking this bad. Alright, we got that all nice and heated up. Alright. Back that up a little bit so y'all can see this one. Now we're done with, we should be done with that. If you're ever not sure, just stick it in till it stops. Hold your finger and that'll show you how deep you got. Now you might be wondering why. Because this tube is only going to here and that drill bit went to like there. My dirty little trick that I like. Drill the smaller hole, cut it, drill your bigger hole, and you already have it started for the other one. Now I need to, that's where I put my porta band. Alright. It also helps when you're cutting through that. You don't have near as much material, so it'll actually cut through faster. Just another little time-saving tip there if you're ever batching out multiple pens at once. Alright. And the trick with this, since this is not a typical, it's a flat tip, not really, doesn't have an angle to it. It can be tricky to start when you've already got a starter hole. But I found you just slowly walk it into the wood, just slow and steady. And now that I'm in, I can speed it up. The rate of insertion, not the actual lathe. Now we'll back this out. Ah, my trick didn't work. Sometimes you let this heat up enough, it will pop out, and or it'll, as it cools, it'll actually just curve its way up. Don't ask me to use big words right now, I'm too tired. All right, and that's the last of that. So we're done drilling these. I'm just gonna pop this out. Yeah, it's a little warm. Not the worst I've ever had it though. All right, and then we're just going to reverse this off, and we're done with that chuck, so we'll put that away. And then I need my trusty 60 grit, my super glue, and kicker. So now we're just going to give these tubes a little tooth, which just involves a little sandpaper. I like to rough them up one way and then take them another. That just really lets that super glue adhere to it really well. And this is just some basic good old thick cyanoacrylate. You can use any brand, I just happen to have Stick Fast out here. I'm also a big fan of the Tight Bond CAs. And all CA is a fancy way of saying super glue. Just stands for cyanoacrylate, which is what super glue is. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so sweet. And I don't mean like the expression sweet, I mean like it has a very sweet floral scent to this wood. It's absolutely incredible. I got to work kind of quick because these blanks are hot and this glue will set quickly. But all I did was take a corner of a table and push into there. And just hit a little kicker on the outside, and after I'm done, or after I hit stop, this is going to sit for about 15-20 minutes. And then you guys will see me over at the sander while we square this up. Actually, you might not, because I don't know if I'm going to show that part of it just for the sake of time. So we got that all. I always spin the tube as I'm sticking it in there to spread it around, because you want that glue everywhere. And then I'm going to come around here. And you can see, maybe, it's hard, but you can actually see the tube in there. That's how much I'm going to have to sand off because of how uneven my cuts were, but it ain't the end of the world. I've had worse and made them work, so because if you put it together right, you can still make it look like it's the way it should be. And while that's setting up, we're going to set this up for this fountain pen. So here's our rig for the there's our standard pen setup, the bushings I need for it. I'm just going to preload these because those should be the same. Let me, all right, yeah, these two are both 0.565 And I always try to make it so the smallest one's always on this end. And then for the I'm just reading this real quick. That's special, doesn't tell you which side goes to which. Alright. But I usually put the thinner side out towards the end, so that'll be easy enough. Like I said, I'm gonna go knock these out real quick. Alright, and we're back. So we're gonna load these in here real quick. I just gotta find my marks. Be really funny if my pencil line didn't survive all this. There it is. Alright, so we need it to go in like this, this, that, this, and this. Alright, that's all locked up. Now for the fun part. If y'all are new, I'll apologize now. I don't think I'm going to talk through this bit. I'm just going to let the lathe sing. So, here we go. Alright, and for the skew. Alright. Alright. And that's all that takes to get that ready to rock and roll. Now if you'll excuse me, I thought I had a pack of sanding discs right there, and I don't. So we are going to go grab one. As always, pull the 60 grit because I don't need it. I say I don't need it for the simple fact that the way I turn these with the skew to get it to the final shape, I don't have to rough it back up to get any heavy shaping done with this wood. Sometimes with like coconut or palm wood, I will, specifically coconut palm. And if you didn't know, I do actually make pens with that. So if you want to see any of the stuff I've done with that, check out the Palm Sunday videos on my channel. I've got a couple of them now. I'm getting sweat in my eyes now. Excuse me. All right. We are going to green pop this after this one for the next 2 sanding grits, so I can try to keep this nice and smooth, because that's 1,000 grit right there. So we'll give this one heavy squirt. Alright, here's that. Here's another one. Alright. There's that. I'm going to reverse this so you guys can get the better view of the finish going on. And we're going to get all the wood finish ready to rock and roll. Now, if I was doing production pen making, this would be going the other way and I would not pull my tool rest. But this way, it lets you guys see it a little better. There's one. So once this one greens up a little bit, I'll post a picture. I might even do a 1 year later video on this as well. But I usually try to do between 3 and 5 coats, depending on how it looks. This side hasn't gotten much, so I'm just going to put a drop straight on there. This is Dr. Woodshop's Pens Plus finish. Does a great job at giving you a nice finish quickly. It holds up pretty well. I wasn't too sure about it when I first bought the thing of it like 2 years ago, but I've got pens I finished with it that I carried for months in a foundry, and the wax never burnt out of it. So it's earned my respect and my blessing to use for my stuff. So I thought I had, I could have swore I had a thing Yorkshire grit right there that wasn't sealed. I do. Alright, this is just the original Yorkshire grit that we're going to put a little bit on. That's way too much. This is just a friction polish. It's also really, it does a good for a base layer too. I'm going to have to do this with the other way though, because I don't want to have anything get ripped out of my hands. So now we got our finish. We got the Yorkshire grit on there. So I'm just going to work this back and forth. This is the other reason I reversed it back. It doesn't matter because I can still do it where you guys can observe. Because usually I do it this way, but I'll be nice to you guys this week. Whoa. Alright, and I got to keep this thing moving because I need that heat in it. And if you notice a little bit of smoke coming off it, that's because I got it a little too hot. Fortunately, I was able to, it didn't mar the finish up. Because this is beeswax. This is what I put on this is my last coat on every pen. I just work it on just like this. Just give it a nice even coat. And then for the last one, I'll just take a fingernail and push into the pen blank from behind to give it that last final smear of wax for the final coat. And there we go. Now we've got to put it together, which I got to go grab something and we'll do that somewhere else. All right, so I'm just going to use my table saw because it works as a table. Just so you know, right here's the plug. It is not on. We're hitting the power button, nothing. Usually you don't want the blade up to do this, but what I'm actually going to do after this requires this, so I don't feel like taking it apart to put it back together in 5 minutes. This is one of those times I'll tell you, do as I say, not as I do. Don't do this at home. But, alright. I need a paper towel real quick. And just because I see a nail sitting right here, I'm going to take a nail. Alright. Alright, so we're just going to take this paper towel, roll it up. You know what? I'm going to try this without a nail first. We're just going to twist this around. This might be a little better because there's still a bunch of sawdust on the inside of the tube of this, and I don't want it in there. So we're just going to pull that through. And as you can see, it takes all the sawdust and all the junk out of there. And then for this particular pen type, you throw your cap with the pocket clip into there. Then you just press that together. I just realized I can totally zoom this in a little better so you guys can see a little easier. And then for the front part, it should just be this right here. Sorry, I'm seeing parts that I don't remember where they go. I'm gonna have to, I think I remember what I'm doing. And then you just pop that in there. The press I usually use, all I gotta do is flip something. This is the one I keep out here, because I've got it and I don't feel like throwing it away, even though I don't care for it. But it still works. It is nice because it gives me a nice fine adjustment if I ever need it though, which is the other reason I like to hang on to it, because it can be handy to have that ability. I don't think that's a part for this pen. I really don't think that's a part of it. Oh, and that ain't the phone I need. It's right there. All right. This is why I prefer paper instructions. All right, ain't gonna work. So we'll just zoom in here. So we just did the cap at the bottom. Now we got this. So that other piece I was looking at, I do not need. I just need those two, which is what I thought. But whenever you're putting pens together, if you're ever not sure, double check. I've messed too many of them up because I got impatient. So just believe me, it's worth taking the extra time to look it up. Even if you don't have it saved to your files like I do and you actually have to go online and double check it. But there's all the sawdust. That's out of there. All right, this is our narrower end, so we're gonna pop the back end into that. Open this up. Too much. All right, there's that. Whenever you're doing this, if anything starts to go a little not square in there, stop, because you can tear the tubes out of here with one of these presses without too much effort. I've ruined more than a few that way too. It's always a bad day when you get to this point and then have to go, I wonder if I can drill this tube out. Because if you can drill the tube out, you can re-glue it, but if I don't have to do extra work, I don't want to. All right. And then finally, my nib. This one I'm just going to use the ink cartridges for. So we're just going to pop that in there. I didn't hear it pop, but it should be good. Then we just screw the nib back on. First couple times it might be a little rough, just cleaning the threads up. And there you go. My new pen for me. And there we go. Easy peasy. And I'm really sweaty. I'm gonna go inside and cool off. You all have fun. Cat in the hat, dappy dat. Be safe in the shop, folks. And remember, stay hydrated if you're out in this heat.